Hello, everyone. Oh man, I knew I was gonna forget something. Happy Wednesday. Didn't turn my alarms off. If you are on right now, just say hi in the comments so that I know you're here. Um, that way I know you're here, like always, because that's the only way I know you're here. Because it doesn't show me. Oh my gosh, it is a new month. It's February. It's also Black History Month. It is. Man, it's all the things, all the things. If you're new to my channel, make sure. Hi, Mex. Thank you for joining. Um, Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notifications. All the things, all the things. It's at Yana's Wine Corner on across all the social media. Simple, nothing too out of the ordinary. Man, I get really excited during this month, and it's partially because I just love love, and apparently this is the only month that you can love people. Well, I tell my friends and my family I love them all the time. I'm kind of annoying with it, but but in this month people seem to really be more into expressing their love for, people. So I think that's what makes this month exciting for me. Plus, it's almost my birthday, so I get really excited about that too. But we're gonna jump into this wine. I have no clue, about the wine. I went because it's Black History Month, so of course I wanted to feature a Black-owned wine, and I got this one, Black Cherry Moscato. This one is It's from California, coming from esteemed winemaker Phil Long. It's a sweet, light body Moscato, bursting with flavors of black cherry and honeysuckle. At 65 calories per serving, this wine will please any crowd. Oh my gosh, damn twist tops get me every time. So I'm just going to sit here and, make it happen. Oh, I did it, y'all. And my sweater is from Black Girls Who Love Wine. We're all about that wine and dine. And since it's Black History Month, and they are Black history as well, I had to, show my support. So y'all go ahead and follow them on Instagram, Black Girls Who Love Wine. They're pretty dope, put out good content. So, of course, I'm going to support. Let's see. I mean, it's a pretty color. And y'all know I'm not a big sweet wine drinker, but smells good. And I like black cherry though, so it was worth a try. It's not bad. It's not something I would just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go drink this all the time because it's sweeter for me than I would prefer, but it's not bad. I'll finish it. It tastes like juice. So I'll finish it. I'll finish it. Of course, I have been drinking already. I started drinking before I started winding down. I shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. But oh my gosh, so the Grammys were this past Sunday, and I want to just really just put out my congratulations to Victoria Monet. She won three, and I am so proud of her because I am a huge supporter of hers. She won Best New Artist, Best R&B Album for Jaguar 2, and Engineer Album Non-Classical. And if you heard Jaguar 2 and you did not, man, so happy for her. And it was about time that she finally got, the love and credit that she deserved. She is such a dope artist. She has been on so many different people's projects. Not only is she, she's performing her own stuff, but she writes as well. So, I was really happy for her that she's finally getting, noticed the way that she should have. And I am sure who was it that passed on her? And they were like, "Oh, she's not ready." Yeah, well, I bet they kicking themselves in the butt now. But SZA, Coco Jones, and Tyler also went as well. So let's give it up for them. It was really a good historic night for women, and the way Jay-Z stood up for his wife. Can we talk about that? I was like, it's about time. Aloha, Miss Kennedy. Welcome. I was very happy to see that. That's all any woman wants is to see her man stick up for her like that. So that's a green flag, which is what we're talking about today. No, seriously, that's a green flag when you see your man go up there and just be like, I don't give a crap about what's going on. We gonna talk about how y'all disrespecting my wife and X, Y, and Z. I mean, come on now. Beyonce became literally the most decorated Grammy winner in the history, and yet she still has not. Renaissance should have won Best Album. I'm with you on that, mix. Like hands down, one. And it's people out there like, oh, I only listen to a couple songs. That's you. You don't understand the music. It was. I mean, everything about that album, the tour. Yeah, you're right. It was just absolutely amazing. It just the way that coming off of a knee surgery at that, and her still performing day in and day out at the level that she did it, the visuals for that album, everything. I mean, just every song. It's only two songs I can say I really didn't. I was just like, okay. SOS Spices should have won. I feel like SZA, should have won a few more. I feel like Victoria Monet should have won a few more, but that's just like Jay-Z said, it's a matter of opinion, but it is what it is. But we're gonna take what we got right now. I'm glad Jay-Z said something, and shout out to Blue Ivy because she looked absolutely amazing in her dress that night. So it was a good night for the ladies, and I feel like we like I won a Grammy. I feel like they did what they had to, for the women and showed off. So that was really good. So I'm really happy with that. But no, I feel like Beyonce got robbed, and you know, I'm glad he said something because I mean, hell, Lemonade was bomb. Like, if you really paid attention to the lyrics of every song on there, and people are still bashing it, like, oh, well, she only came out with Lemonade because of the elevator incident, and she had to say something. That was her way of saying something. No, that's not why. That's not why. Beyonce works on stuff for a long time before it even comes out, so it's not because of the elevator incident. Let's stop, downplaying her work ethic and her talent. It's just a lot of Beyonce haters, but it's way more supporters, and we love Beyonce here in Yana's Wine Corner. So yeah, but Jay-Z was definitely a green flag that night, and you can't be mad at that. But speaking of green flags, we all know every relationship is out there looking for the red flags, and yes, they are important to pay attention to, but I feel like a lot of the time people are so busy looking for red flags that they seem to miss out on the green flags. If you don't know what a green flag is, it's not just having a great day together, because you can have a great day with anybody. It's a positive signal that your relationship is kind of moving in the right direction, so you can be confident in what you're building with the person. um, I did look and see that there are, quite a few that, you should look for. Like, these are like the top ones that you should look for in your relationship when you're thinking about green flags. You can express your emotions with your partner. When you feel comfortable talking about your emotions, that is a major green flag. Despite the short term discomfort, uh, having difficult conversations with anybody are going to be hard, but it does make it stronger. Being vulnerable usually indicates that someone is willing to deepen their connection with you. It also indicates that you're creating a space that makes them feel safe to share. So, I mean, that's a big green flag. Now, I will say this: being open to discussing your feelings is great. However, And that was the one thing I had to, really learn. It's the delivery and the tone as well. So you can't come in there, just ready to pop off and, with the neck, the hands, and all the everything, and think you about to have, you know, a decent conversation. You gotta, tone it down, and, for us ladies, be a lady, in the tone, because if your whole goal is to, oh, that rain is raining right now. If your goal is to, get something good from your partner, you have to put that energy out there, and it starts with you and the way you deliver. So that is one of the big things. Um, even being able to have difficult conversations about your relationship is a green flag. Most people overlook that. They're like, oh, well, and you're not going to always agree. Sometimes you have to understand that the agreement is that you don't agree on the same thing, and it doesn't make it a red flag. No two people are like. I could say, tomato, they could say tomato. That doesn't mean that either of us are wrong. It's just, a difference of opinion, vernacular, whatever you want to call it. But it's all a green flag if you're able to have those difficult conversations. This one was a big one to me. They're not afraid to apologize. I know women get a bad rap with that one. Oh, she doesn't apologize. My wife doesn't apologize. Yada, yada, yada. I am a big believer in apologizing. And one of the biggest things that people don't understand is that the biggest apology is change behavior. So it's one thing to say, I'm sorry. It's a whole nother thing to change how you're doing it. So let that, marinate, and it does take time for you to realize, that you need to change certain things. So, and just take accountability. And that's a big one. You have to really let go of your ego and your pride when you are in a relationship. And a lot of times it is very hard to do, which is why so many relationships end, because they're stuck in their own emotions, trying to control the narrative, looking for ways to transfer blame. I mean, we've all done it. And if anybody says they haven't, then, they probably are not in a relationship, or they are tearing up their relationship right now. But we've all done it at some point. And, you just got to grow. You know, I didn't, a lot of, and one of the biggest things with the apology is, it accepting that, you didn't mean to do it, and accept, acknowledging that person's hurt. So that's a green flag when a person can apologize and really mean it. Green flags, y'all. And I feel like when was that? I was having one of my lives, and someone said things that we take for granted. I feel like in relationships, we usually take a lot of things for granted. And that's why a lot of things fail as well. It's like you look at it as, oh, it was just something that was meant to happen. Hi, Slim Thick Queens. uh, and that's why relationships fail too, because you're taking it for granted. And you cannot do that in relationships. You always have to have gratitude and a serving heart, for your partner, because they don't have to be there. You don't have to be there. But when you are choosing to be there, choose to do it with a good heart. And it's easy, like, for taking it for granted. You forget that sometime. So, just remember, they don't have to be there. You don't have to be there. So don't expect certain things. This is a big green flag. They are your safe space. I will tell people all the time, I sometimes will let go of certain things, when it, like, I'm not afraid to let go in my relationship. So it's like, I'm going to be goofy. Sometimes I'll say stuff and I'll be like, oh, this might be stupid, and then I'll still say it, because to an extent, I know I'm not going to be ridiculed. I'm not going to be judged. And it's one of those where it's like, even if I'm being laughed at, it's not, I'm being laughed at in a, like, oh, you're stupid type of manner. I just, like, okay, this might be stupid, but I ain't going to say some of the stuff that I say, but it'd be like, whatever. I said it. It is what it is. But it's one of those where I am free to be myself. And that is a big deal to me because in my previous situation, I wasn't able to be myself. So therefore I didn't really, I tell people all the time, I didn't know who I was. I'm still learning who I am, and being able to, just express myself freely it's a big deal to me. That is a green flag because it's able to give me the freedom to grow as a woman. And I like it. I like it because you're just like, okay, you feel good. You feel at peace. You don't feel like, oh, I have to hide who I really am because this person is going to say something about this. It's just like, okay, cool. I'm not tripping. Let me just, let it out. Like, I'm not afraid to, I don't know. It's just so many things, so many things. And I think that is definitely one of my top green flags in that because I go with the flow and I enjoy it. I like life. It is what it is. Yeah. So I know I kind of started blushing a little bit. I got a little hot. They validate your emotions. Yeah, relationships can be exhausting because no matter if you're, the toughest person, the most sensitive person, we all want to feel like our feelings are being understood, they're being validated. And ladies, come on, can we try and understand that men have feelings too? They have feelings too. I was watching this video, and at first it was, they can be so hard. And I think a lot of that, and I feel like that's where journaling really does help me because you really have to look at it like, okay, was this so bad? Is this so bad? Where could I have done this? Which is why I'm such a hi, how you doing these? Oh my gosh, you on? Which wine did you pick? But it really does help with journaling because you see so much. And that's why I'm a big text person too, because it's like I am an overthinker. So with texting, in texting with no matter, I can see where I said something, where that person says something. It's like, dang, where maybe I misunderstood certain things. So I'm able to reread certain things and try and, get a better understanding of it. So, validating emotions is a really big thing. But I was watching this video and these girls, yay, you got the Josh. You can't go wrong with Josh. Josh is a really good one. That's a really good one. Um, Oh, but they were talking about this sassy man apocalypse. And at first I was just like, okay. But then the more I thought about it, because you can see both sides of something, at the same time, and people don't understand that. They're putting a label on something because men are now expressing their feelings, which is something that women have always been asking for. Oh, open up to me. Oh, do this. I want you to tell me how you feel. Then men do it and it's, oh, they sassy. What? So we can't play both sides of the fence and then, put a negative connotation on men. Men have feelings, and that is such a big deal when they are opening up to us and telling us how they feel. And if they are expressing themselves, expecting you to understand as their partner. So it's like, are you listening? And a lot of times I have to catch myself too. Am I listening to respond, or am I listening to understand? That is a really big deal. And sometimes I have to go back and replay conversations in my head because it's just like, okay, was I wrong? Where was I wrong? Could I have, what could I have done different? Certain things, how it went. So it's a lot. Oh my gosh. And match the same energy as, your partner. If they're feeling sad and you over here talking about some, oh, can we go get pancakes, tomorrow for breakfast? It's like, what are you doing? Like, no, that's not okay. um and don't challenge people their feelings. That's a big one for me because you know, it was a lesson learned. And now, it's like once you get to that point where you're like, okay, my partner opened up to me. They told me how they feel about what I'm doing. Why am I challenging what they're saying instead of accepting it and trying to change that behavior? So that's a big one when you can see that a person is starting to become more reasonable and, understanding of what you're going through. So you want to look for those green flags because guess what? For every red flag, there's a green flag, and some red flags do turn into green flags if you take the time and you nurture certain things. But I feel like people give up too soon for things to change, or they're closed minded a lot of the time. And you don't want to be closed minded, especially if you want your relationship to work. Because, man, let me tell you, from what I am hearing, the dating pool is trash. Like, it is just horrible. So it's like, why would you want to put yourself back out there in that madness? Like, mm, yeah, it's not something I'm looking forward to do. And then, oh, respecting boundaries. Those are green flags. Physical, sexual, emotional, economical, intellectual, like those were the top when it comes to boundaries. I really feel like the emotional, I mean, well, all of them are important, but that emotional one is one that, really gets me because um, I guess I'm a bit pushy, from what I've been told. But you got to be able to say, like, if somebody is telling you, I need space, I need you to back off, I need you to leave me alone, you really got to, respect that because then you end up, just being combative and the whole time and then you're not getting anywhere. So you got to really have personal boundaries and understand your boundaries as well, because that's the only way you're going to have a healthy relationship and live in a personal space with healthy comfort zones as well. So I feel like that's a big one when it comes to looking for green flags. Like, how do they respect you in that aspect? And this is, I was telling my friend this, how do they talk about the future with you? Like, are you included when they have those conversations? Are they saying, oh, well, in the, next year, I would like to do X, Y, and Z. We should plan to do this, in the next couple of months. Um, things like that. And you can see, how they feel about you, where they project their life going for the long haul, things like that. So if they talk about you in the future, then you onto something, and that's a good green flag. You share the same values. That's a big one. That's a big one, especially when it comes to family structure. But it also says pay attention to how your priorities align with one another. If you prioritize, certain traditions, holidays, things like that, and they're more of a, oh, I just kind of want to do my own thing, you're probably not going to make it. That's a red flag. Green flags are, when it comes value wise, are they kind and generous with others? Are they honest? Do they give you a good sense of trust? What are their ambitions and goals towards the future? Do they have a strong connection to faith or spirituality? Do politics matter to you or them? Do they value friendship or family ties? I feel like that one is a really big one. The friendship and family ties, because that shows a lot about, how they are. Somebody that doesn't really feel big on family, friends, and you do, you're not going to make it. That's a red flag in itself. So, but as you get to know one another, and it's not just about having conversations, because you want to see by action, are they, invested in going and spending holidays in this time, with family? Like, I will say, we are really big on celebrating, our loved ones, whether it's, you had a big promotion to your birthday, like that's a big deal in our family. So that's something that is just like, it just wouldn't be able to work if you're not into all that stuff. But you want to make sure that all that stuff lines up with each other, and those are green flags. This is a pretty big one. Do they make you want to be your best self? we are all learning, growing, and you are going to go through many, many seasons with each other. And it's so true that who was it? I can't remember who told me this. Definitely somebody older who had been married for a lot of years. They said in for long-term relationships to work, you have to learn to love the same person through many different seasons. And that really, hit me because it's like in each season that person's changed. Their values have changed, the way they looked at life has changed, the way that they handle you has changed. Like I am really big on, a person that can handle me with care. If I'm sad, how are you interacting with me? When we're both angry, how are we interacting with each other? Can we have a conversation and it not escalate? That's a big deal. So that handling is one of the biggest things. But when you are looking at it, it's like, do they make you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I want to do better? If you don't look in the mirror and say, I want to do better, it's probably not, the relationship for you. And that's a red flag. So you want to look and see, am I pushing to be better? Am I striving for something more? Does this person make me feel like I want to keep going and accepting each challenge, and I can make this challenge as long as they're rooting me on? Those are green flags. So you got to look at that stuff. Uh, there is consistent communication. Oof. I think a lot of people don't understand too that communication is more than just talking. It's like I said earlier, the tone in which you talk, the way you deliver certain things. But are you also understanding what the other person is saying? We could be talking about. I've had this, happen recently where it's like had a whole conversation and what I'm thinking, what was going on and what the other person was thinking what was going on were two different things. So it was like, oh well, this is, I'm sorry I did X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no, well, this is what I was talking about. So we clearly weren't on the same page. And then when it comes like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought we were talking about how, I made the mac and cheese and put too much cheese in it. Wasn't even the case. But sometimes you have to take a break from a conversation and reevaluate, or I should say reassess what was said, and then come back to it, and then you'll be able to understand. But if you can do that and get past it, green flag. Definite green flag. But communication, I feel like so many people really don't understand it, and they just think, oh, talking is communication. It's so much more to that. And the more I really dig deep into it, the more I'm just like, I do want to be a better communicator. And my dog is doing circles over there right now. Just it makes me want to be better. Uh, and the last one, this one is really big to me, and I think it's because it's one that I value not just in my relationship, but in my family relationships, my friendships, things like that. They pay attention to little details. I love it when someone remembers little things about me. Um, they do little gestures of love, like I think it's the sweetest thing when I can come home and it's like, "Aw, you were thinking about me. You bought me, peach cobbler." Oh my God, I love peach cobbler. And I met a lady that she says she makes some really good peach cobbler. So I cannot wait to link up with her and do a wine and cobbler tasting. We said we're going to do. But I just love little stuff like that. People that remember things like, oh, you said you were going to go to the doctor on this day, and, they call and see how things went, or, oh, I know you had this going on. Like when I started doing this, the way my friends, showed up for me, man, girl, a cobbler and wine pairing. When I say my mouth was salivating when we were talking about it. And I love me some peach cobbler. Like it, oh my gosh, like peach cobbler, German chocolate cake. That's the way to my heart, the way it makes me feel, just happy on the inside is just absolutely amazing. So yes, like to have some wine with it, it's just it really just sets it off. And I'm like so heavy into now the pairings with everything. Man, I'm telling you, a good peach cobbler. Ooh, see, y'all feel me on that one. It is like absolutely delicious. Like that is like, oh my gosh, one of the ways to my heart. So I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to meet up with her and, really try her peach cobbler because she had some at the event I was at, but I didn't know I was a guest speaker. Thank you, Kiana, for that. But I ended up being a guest speaker. So I was, talking with her about my talking points and whatnot. And by the time I came out there, it was all gone. So I didn't get any peach cobbler. And she was like, oh, girl, we gonna figure it out and make it happen. So now I just cannot wait to taste this peach cobbler because I seen it and it looked good. And the last peach cobbler I had was good, but I feel like it had too much cinnamon in it. So the cinnamon was overpowering to where everything else wasn't, like the crust. Oh my gosh. Everything else was good, but it was just the cinnamon was a little overpowering. So if it was less cinnamon, I probably would have been like, hell yeah, this is bomb. But I like love some peach cobbler. My mother-in-law makes a good peach cobbler. Like it is bomb. So I don't know. She hasn't made any in a while. So I got to get it from other places. But that is definitely one of my weaknesses. But I do love when people remember little things about me. And it's like and I think that's partially because that is one of my love languages with people, or how I give love to people is, if you tell me, oh, I went through this, I'm gonna think about you, and I may not do it right when I think about you. It could be like sometimes 10 o'clock and I'd be like, oh my God, thought about the person and I forgot to do something, or I may be driving when I'm thinking about the person. And sometimes I've like been at a red light and it's like, oh, let me text the person right away. I've, I don't, it's just, one of those things. So because it's such a big deal to me, I don't like to take for granted that, it's okay to make other people feel good as well. And I feel like that's a green flag. It doesn't matter what relationship you're in, whether it's romantic or platonic, your family, just remembering little details, it does make people feel good. It does make them feel seen. It does make them feel, all the feels. And we all know I am about all the feels. So, just practice it. Gratitude, compliments. Oh my gosh. And it's so crazy because I can accept a compliment from a woman way faster than from a man. Like, I don't know. It just makes me feel weird when like men that I don't know compliment me. It's like, thank you. I don't know. It just makes me feel weird. So I'm not a big fan of that. But if a woman is like, oh, I like this, I'll be like, oh, thank you. It's just, I don't know. It's a comfort thing. But, practicing that, frequently, gestures of love. It's so like I'll text my friends, and I know sometimes I'm corny. Everybody that knows me knows me. It's okay. I'm corny. I don't mind being corny, but that's just who I am. And the people that are actually in my life consistently, they accept that about me. They just know that's how I am. So it's no judgment. I'm free to be myself. And that is why I love them. I have no problems texting my friends, tell them I love them, I appreciate them. I'm thankful for them because they are, they keep me going in, different ways. Small acts of, kindness with people. If you're thinking about somebody, they're about to go and do something big, let them know you're thinking about them. Tell them you hope they're having a good day. It all means something, and it does keep you connected, and it helps. You never know what a person is going through in that day, and that small random act of kindness can definitely change the tone of their day. So just pay attention. I think so many times right now, because I hear so many people complaining about their relationships, and yes, we all go through struggles, myself included. We just, and that's why the problems come, because we take things for granted. And if you look for the problem, of course, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be like a snowball effect of just problem after problem after problem after problem. But practicing looking for those green flags and looking for what's right versus what's wrong. Because a lot of the time it's more right than it is wrong. It's just that the wrong is magnified because of one, the delivery, the tone, et cetera. Why am I playing with the rips in my jeans? It's just so many things that we look for, and I just think it's human nature to look for the wrong. I don't know why we do it, but it's just one of those things that we do. So if we look for more of the good, you will have a better day. And you have to intentionally do it. And like I said, journaling, it really does help. I mean, I know it sounds cliche and I know I sound like a broken record with it, but it really does. Because when you go and you sit down and you are quiet with yourself and you really think about everything, you see more of the good in your day than the bad. So what, you were late a few minutes to work. How do you know you weren't being saved from being in an accident? I've seen that happen where it's just like, dang, when did that happen? And somebody, is in a really bad car accident and I missed it because, my kid decided he didn't want to wear the pants that I pulled out for him. So now we got to have a whole, session on, well, what pants do you want to wear? Do you want to wear these? No, I don't want to wear these situation. Yeah. But, it's like when you start looking at it from that aspect, it does help in practicing the gratitude. That is something I've been setting my focal point on lately because life be lifing, and it does. You already know that I mean, man, the struggle is real, especially when your kids is trying to express themselves, with they physical, they like, I feel like I look fly like this, and you like, but it is Tuesday and it is raining. You cannot be out there in a tuxedo on a freaking Tuesday. Can you just put on the goddamn sweats and let's go, please? But you have to give them the space to express themselves as well. That's a green flag, giving them the space to express themselves. But it's definitely fun. And and I just feel like the more I practiced gratitude and being happy and looking for the green flags in every situation, because I used to be like terrible with it. It was like, oh, you do one thing, oh, I'm done. This person don't care. This person don't do this. And now it's like, no. And having someone that makes you look at things from a different perspective, I feel like that's a green flag. I know it's not, on here, but it really is a big one, having somebody that really forces you to look at different perspectives as well. And you can't lose when you do that. It's a good feeling to be able to understand people, because I will cut you off in a heartbeat and not think twice about it. And then it was just like, well, why? Because, you know, they didn't call you back right away. Like, that's dumb. So, yeah, be consistent with it. Focus on, I'm doing it again. Be consistent with it. Focus on the good versus the bad, because there's always going to be some bad there, but if the good outweighs the bad and you are looking for the good, you'll find the good. So, no more complaining. In 2024, it's still, what, 10 months left in a year? 10 and a half months, we'll go ahead and say, because dang, we are dang near midway through February. This month is going by pretty fast. January was just like, we gonna slow it down, and y'all are really about to be like, okay, we taking our time. February is flying so far. So let's embrace the green flags, looking for the positive in situations, and just being better, just being all the way better, because I am really trying to embrace being more of my softer side. I don't always want to be so angry. I don't always want to be so high strung and things like that. Like, I like being carefree to an extent. Like, I've been cooking more this week and I felt really good about it. And partially because it's just like I kind of let go of a lot of the, being in my own head. So, yeah, that is the goal for 2024. Being our best, being green instead of red. That's what we're going to do. That's gonna be my note for tomorrow on Instagram. Be green, don't be red. But you only know if you've seen this. So yes, I am so happy that you guys all joined me. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday night. Next week, I will not be live because it is Valentine's Day, and I know a lot of people are going to be, celebrating, See, thank you, Naya. I appreciate that. A lot of people are going to be celebrating next week, but I am putting up a special episode that I will be premiering for Valentine's Day, and I'm really excited about this. I'm very proud of the route that I went about it. I'm really excited to put this out, and I really think that it will embody everything that I am as a lover, because I am a lover first. I'm very sensitive. I love everything about love, being in love, the thought of love. I love other people's love. Like that just makes me feel so good inside. So lead with love. And I'm really excited for next weekend. I hope that you guys, do watch it, even if you don't watch it on Valentine's Day. But I hope you do watch it and enjoy it, because it's this one is special for me. It's really special because it was a thought that I had in my head. I wasn't sure how I was going to execute it. There's all kind of stuff with, you know, everybody that I wanted to do it, and then it didn't happen the way I wanted to do it. And then it was just like, but you're losing focus of what it is, what it's about. And that's about love. And, regardless of what happened, it doesn't matter. At least you're still expressing love and showing love. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited. So next week won't be live, but there will be an episode. So I hope you guys watch it. I hope you enjoy it. Comment. When it premieres, I will definitely be on, while it's premiering, in the comments. So if you're not doing anything for Valentine's Day, because it is a Wednesday, and people still got work the next day, and I'm sure the restaurants are about to be ridiculously crowded and definitely overpriced. So, you know, and then it's Super Bowl weekend. So if you're trying to go out this weekend, it's about to be crazy because everybody is having all kind of Super Bowl stuff going on. So Saturday and Sunday, it's about to be crazy all over. And just, if you just love on your partner every day, you don't have to worry about that one day a year. But I'm going to be at home with my premiere, making something good to eat. Don't know yet, but because it's too far in advance, but making something good. And I'm really excited. And I hope you guys all watch it. The rain is beating down. And I'll kind of see y'all next week. um, so, yeah, have a good night. Have a great rest of your week. We're almost there. Super Bowl weekend. I'm just watching for the commercials and the halftime show. So, enjoy.